Welcome to Surf Dudes with Attitude, a podcast about California dreams. This is Pete from New York City. Hello, James.
How's it going, Pete? I'm James. I'm also from New York City, and I really hate your name tag.
Okay,
For those that can't see it, it says Uncle Lou Leukemia, and we'll find why that joke is way more fucked up than it should be as we dig into Season 3, Episode 12 of California
I never know
Dreams.
if you can see. So we're using a streaming platform, and it has our name, and then it also has a sub-name underneath it, and every single week I try to put something on, and I don't know who gets to see it. I don't know how we're going to distribute these clips, if you can even see our beautiful mugs, but just in case, every week has a pun about the episode that we watched. And like this show, some are better than others. So I was trying to come up with any kind of pun for an introduction.
It's a very good pun. It's just terribly dark. Yeah,
well, it's true, but I couldn't think of it. So there's a character here that we're going to meet of Jake's uncle, who is just, like, right out the gate, let's talk. Like, he's doing an Andrew Dice Clay. And I'm like,
I thought it was, the resolution was so bad, I thought it was. I almost for a moment was like, no way.
I was thinking, like, what is a funny pun for Andrew Dice Clay? Like, what is smaller than a pair of dice? Not many things. I was like, is Andrew Dice Sediment a funny joke? And I don't think it is. So I went with another Italian sounding ailment. So. But if anybody that doesn't know, we are a podcast about the show California Dreams that ran from 1991 to 1996, and we are well into the third season. We are over the hump of this mountain, and we are talking today about an episode 312, episode 12 of season 3, called Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, which we're gonna get to in a second, but like. If you have come this far with us and you know what we're talking about, thank you. Thank you so much for being a fan of Surf Dudes with Attitude.
We don't know how you've made it. We just don't know.
We also know that people are just jumping in here. They're it's like a buffet line. They'll just kind of pick whatever they want, and they won't leave any pigs in a blanket for anybody else. So whether it's your first episode or it's your 35th episode or whatever we're on, thank you for coming back. We are Surf Dudes with Attitude. Please contact us at surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com. Please like and subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Thank you so much. This is a weird-ass show. We just kind of had a production meeting about it. We're like, how do we get the kids to love us? And I don't know if we have an answer to that, but if you're listening, thank you.
Yeah, I think the answer there is we don't.
We don't know.
We don't.
This isn't like music. James and I are both musicians. We have both dabbled in a lot of recording and touring, and I think when I started this podcast, I knew it was going to be a small crowd, but I'm used to that with our style of music. I'm used to playing to small crowds, but I've been a musician for something like 25 years professionally or something at this point, and I had lofty dreams of when I became a musician that I was going to be a lot bigger than I am now. But with the podcast, I had my sights set so low that it's been really fun to hopscotch and jump rope over. So any new fans we get, I'm excited. We want to make the show the best as possible. We want to keep things fresh and interesting. And even as we delve into very serious special episodes, and I think that's what we got this week. We got a very special episode, including a disclaimer at the end. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it was pretty dumb.
It was pretty dumb.
It was pretty dumb. You know, it was like peak 90s PSA slop. And
for sure.
I sensed it from as soon as I read that title. I'm sure I guessed it wrong last time, but I knew
you were close. If I remember correctly, because it's been a couple weeks since I saw you. You said it was probably Jake smoking, I think. So I think we gave you at least half credit for that. I don't know if you definitely did not get that there was a metal detector subplot, did you?
I sure didn't. Yeah, it's really important to the story. Yeah. Like unnecessarily important.
It does coalesce
to the story.
at the end. I cannot believe that these two plots actually have Pulp Fiction their way into the end, into a
Yeah, it was a
nice
master
climax.
class in script writing.
It was really the Magnolia effect. I think it was the giant frog storm at the end that really brought everything together.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to get into this? You ready to get this truth campaign on, James, about this anti-smoking?
Vavoom.
Babu. Okay, so James, earlier you said something when you saw the title. We did briefly talk about this last week. You know this title is based on a movie plot, like so many other California Dreams episodes.
I was not aware of that.
Okay, so there is a movie called Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man that came out in 1991. That is 100% what inspired the title of this episode. You can look it up. As you're looking it up, Don Johnson and Mickey Rourke are in it, and it is. I watched it this week in preparation for this episode, but okay, I fell asleep about 25 minutes in.
Is there also a new one, Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, starring Ryan Gosling?
Fuck off! They're remaking
Jason
this movie.
Momoa. Yeah.
No.
Man, they're really running out of ideas.
This movie is hard to get through, and when I say that it's hard to get through, it actually has a Baldwin in it, and like the fourth Baldwin, the Daniel Baldwin. Yeah,
it's the bottom of the Baldwins.
It's the bottom win. That's really what it is. No, are you kidding that there's actually a trailer for it? Are you sure this is not a fan-made film? Nope. It looks like this trailer came out. Wait, it says KH Studio. I think this is fake. I'm going to say this is fake. Please be fake. I think this is a collection of all the movies they've been in. And
yeah, that's
AI.
gotta be AI. Yeah.
Okay. So, look, kids, you never know. Be careful out there.
Just to be sure.
So the plot of Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man: two lone riders hold up a bank's armored car to save their friend's bar from imminent foreclosure. I mean, how apropos is that in today's tough economic times?
Oh my
Soon
gosh.
the mission goes awry when they discover the vehicle's unexpected cargo. I fell asleep 25 minutes in. I don't know what the unexpected cargo is. I imagine it's probably a woman or something. It is rough. Oh, look, there's another trailer.
So
with Harley Davidson,
apparently,
Jason Momoa, and Tom Hardy.
Yeah, a reboot of the '91 film, rumored to be in development for release in 2025. Tom Hardy, Jason Momoa.
Speaking of which, speaking of disclaimers, the start of this movie, which I was conscious for, it said this has nothing to do with any existing products, because the name is two very heavily protected IPs, Harley Davidson and Marlboro.
Yeah, sure.
It's I don't know. It's just basically a rough and tumble cowboy and a rough and tumble motorcycle guy having to team up to save their friend's bar, and it is very stupid. It is before Mickey Rourke got all like his face surgery and getting concussed. I don't recommend it. You do not have to see this to understand this California Dreams plot. I promise.
But honestly, that movie sounds better than this episode. Anyways, let's get into it. So,
not.
Yeah. This episode's terrible. I'm just going to front load that for everybody. This episode's terrible. So we open. We're in the garage. Jake's working on
Jake's garage. We've never seen Jake's garage before, I don't think.
You know, it looks suspiciously similar to other garages. It does look like
other sets.
Yeah. It's 100% reused. But anyways, he's taking apart his motorcycle. He's going to enter it in some big competition. I don't know if he's racing or just like a look
What
thing.
is this competition? This comes up multiple times. There's a trophy that looks like a small bowling trophy at the end.
Yeah, 100%.
Is it the coolest bike? Is it the bike that runs the best because he spends a lot of time tweaking it? What is the protocol and judging apparatus for this?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's very unclear. Like, they don't really clarify that at any point, even later once he has the trophy. Anyway, so he's working on his bike. The gang comes by. Sly has a metal detector, okay? And I'm not going to lie. This episode was terrible, but there were some funny moments.
Mostly by Sly, I assume.
A lot of good Sly moments. One of the first ones was Sly walks in, and Jake says something like, "Well, haven't you heard about knocking?" And Sly's like, "Who would let me in?"
That was right
It's
out the
good.
gate. That was pretty self-effacing
It's good.
and honest.
It's pretty good. Anyways, so Jake's talking to the crew, and he's explaining to them how his cool uncle, who taught him how to be cool, is going to come and help him get the bike ready for the bike event.
We've heard of Uncle Frank before. We've never seen him before, but even Tiffany says the Uncle Frank, like, because I know we've heard about him before. Do we think it's his mother or father's brother? It's never addressed because we don't know if Jake has parents.
That was going to be my next question. Is we never see we saw his uncle before his parents.
I'm gonna say it's his mom because he has said his mom rides bikes as well when we first met Jake. But I think it was just more to be like how much of a tough guy I am. My mom's vagina was basically a Harley Davidson dealership.
Yeah, like a legit Thunder Thighs. Yeah.
Yep.
There was a weird moment too when Jake was talking about trying to win, and Tiffany got a little upset. I think it's because she's repressing a lot of rage.
Well,
but she's like, winning, winning, winning. Why does everyone care about winning?
Well, because she lost in the great race to get Jake, didn't she?
That's
of course,
exactly
she would be
right.
like, "It's not how you winning; it's how you play the game." You know.
Yeah.
So.
That's what losers say.
Second sucks. We finally see Uncle Frank enter. And did you notice this part when he entered? It was almost like he was waiting for some Kramer applause that never came. If you want to like bring it up because I think it's good. He came in and then he waited for a second, nothing, and then he's like, "Okay, I gotta get to it. People don't know me yet, but they will."
And again, I'm not exaggerating this. I legitimately thought that was Andrew Dice Clay. Like, first glance, I was like, no way. But then he talked, and I was like, oh, no.
Well, the casting call 100% said, we need an Andrew Dice Clay character.
Yeah.
And he even does, like, the hoo-ah or whatever. Like, you know, he's
generic Italian catchphrase. You need to do the generic Italian catchphrase.
I think they are, like, would have gotten sued if he had fingerless gloves, but since he didn't, they're like, okay, like our S&P people are like, okay, you can get away with that.
God, yeah. I mean, I am kind of shocked how hard they went on that, but then it was the 90s. This was the case. Yeah. So, anyways, we cut to them working on the bike. It's later. The uncle's just chimney smoking cigarettes.
Wait, and, no, I think you're missing. I think you're jumping scenes here.
Okay.
So Frank walks in and he's getting introduced to everybody, and then she starts to objectify Lorena.
Oh yeah,
this high school student, and then that's where I was thinking. I was like, Tiffany is right there, and he's like, oh, this is the Lorena, like she's one hot tamale kind of thing. And then, the gang leaves, and then he starts smoking, and Jake's like, wants to seem cool. He's asked if he could bum one. And that is the origin story of Jake being the Marlboro Man. So.
I mean, he basically goes completely off the cliff. Mm-hmm. Like, some people get into a destructive habit, but Jake fully embraces it like no one I've ever seen before in my entire life.
If only he committed as much practice to playing solos, he would actually be half decent.
Yeah, he'd be really good.
It's rough. So, James, have you ever smoked
cigarettes?
Yes.
I've tried my fair share of cigarette.
Was there a time that you would say you were a social smoker or a habitual smoker, or even a chain smoker? Or even a fan of the chain smokers.
Never a chain smoker. Maybe a situational smoker. But sure, yeah.
Was it your uncle that gave you your first cigarette?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And honestly, if my uncle were that douchey, I wouldn't want to smoke cigarettes because it would be lame, right?
Okay.
It would make me not want
reverse
to smoke
psychology
yeah.
done early. They had an MK Ultra on James early on.
Yeah, Marlboro K Ultra. Yeah. Yeah.
So stupid. Do you know what cigarette brand it was? Because it was either between Camels or I assumed it was Marlboros, but they did not look like Marlboro packs.
To be honest with you, I couldn't make out any definition because
It's weird
the
this isn't in
resolution
4K
is
yet.
2
I don't
pixels.
understand.
We need to run this through AI.
But
immediately.
at one point, Jake is
No, but
walking
it's-
around with a carton of cigarettes. Like you're right. He's like, I'm
but
in
see-
prison. This is our currency.
And but see, that's where I would say it was Marlboro because the packaging on the carton is for sure.
It didn't look red.
Maybe
it
it doesn't
Marlboro
say
100s or lights.
I think it was. I think it was red. Cowboy Killers.
Okay, so we're gonna jump to Sharkies now. The whole gang has some with this metal detector has found a box, seemingly made out of wood and not metal, that has $500 in it.
It's a rich ass beach find.
So Sly is saying it's his because it's his metal detector. The gang is saying it is theirs since they found it while burying Sly in the sand. Ha 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 ha. And then fucking Mark says the most peak Mark thing ever and says we should put up a reward in case it's somebody else's money.
How naive.
I hate
How
this man.
naive.
I hate him. Why won't he come on this show and answer for himself?
Yeah, well, that'll never happen. He doesn't want us taking him to task because there's a lot about this episode that is just pointless conjecture.
Okay.
Like, so many of his lines in this episode were just, like, completely pointless.
He was really nothing in this episode.
Yeah, like they forgot about him.
Sam didn't
in the
have a big
writers'
role
room.
either, but she was pretty funny when she was making fun of Jake's
she had a couple
gum
lines.
chewing. So that was okay later.
And she really lays down the law when it comes to the intervention. So.
I love this intervention. Okay, I'm excited to talk about that. So anyway, Jake comes into Sharky.
Yeah, this... Where does he come from? Was he in the bathroom smoking cigarettes? Is it gotten so bad for him that he won't even go outside?
I know exactly where it is. The front where everybody comes in is from the boardwalk, because we have seen Tony on a go-kart on that path in the vestibule.
Right. Yeah.
On the side is where the parking lot is, because they had a bunch of ruffian rapscallions in a motorcycle gang that beat Sly up and sent him to the hospital. So that is the parking lot. I'm trying to think of like a floor plan for Sharky's, but he comes in there. He only comes in that way so he can utilize this ashtray that we've never seen before at Sharky's. The waitress says you can't smoke in here.
If it's no smoking,
why
is there an ashtray?
Why is there an ashtray? I will tell you why. Because this was new. California law went into effect January 1st, 1995, that said you were no longer allowed to smoke inside establishments, including restaurants. This episode aired December 3rd, 1994. Do you think, James, this was a part of the propaganda lobby to make this a statewide law? That they were introducing it into people's brains and their psyches?
Yes, because this whole episode is a propaganda lobby. The entire episode, the whole point of the episode is propaganda. So, yes, I'm 100% for that.
So, just let's talk about the overarching embodiment of a very special episode. Were these contractually obligated? Because they're not like they were big Nielsen ratings. Like, I love that let's talk about condoms episode of Clarissa Explains It All kind of thing. Do you think they had to do at least one episode?
I would say there was probably some back channel agreement that was made that was like, all right,
because it's for kids.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
And they chose smoking.
And that doesn't necessarily need to be nefarious. It's just like that would not surprise me at all if a network made that concession and then some organization gave them money, or there was some like cross collaboration. They were doing some kind of like public media campaign, and this.
Do
was
you
just
think
a
it's
component
Philip Morris that was actually back channeling this, like the Stop Oil people?
Fuck no.
I don't know.
No.
The fact is, they say a couple bad things about cigarettes, but the whole rest of the episode, what do you see? You see Cool Jake smoking.
Yeah, he
All right?
does look really cool. You know what? It really kind of made me want to start smoking cigarettes full time.
Yeah,
like
you
chimney
as a
smoking.
former situational smoker, an
yeah.
addict for life.
Yeah.
Is it like when you smell cigarettes, you instantly get drunk
I
right
go
away?
ravenous. Yeah, I'll get violent. So living in New York is particularly difficult.
I bet.
There's no telling.
Yeah.
when I'll be set off. You know.
My uncle, my dad's twin brother works at Philip Morris for like his whole life and
Wow.
gets like a pension from them.
Damn.
And like my dad like stripped tobacco in the fields when he was like young. So like I guess you could say I'm tobacco royalty if you really think about it.
It's in your genes, yeah.
Yeah. I was almost named Philip.
Wow. Well, anyways, no, I don't think they did. I don't think they paid. And the only scenario where they would have paid something is like they had to pay restitution for something. You know, like it was part of some kind of like, it was huge, and then especially it was still a huge thing. Like I remember when you stopped smoking indoors. I remember that.
Yes.
That was like a big thing. It was like, oh, we're gonna go to bars and there's gonna be no smoking in there. Our clothes aren't gonna smell like complete garbage.
That's crazy. No,
It's
because I
not gonna
remember
hurt,
it took a
you know?
while to get to the other side of the country. Because I definitely remember being in high school and sitting in smoking sections, and I was like, I'd rather sit in a smoking section because like my friends are there. Like the non-smoking sections seemed lame, but just to think about that, like there's no partition. Like
that was the
section.
other. That was the other funny thing about that time. Even as a kid, I remembered I was like, I can still smell smoke.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the non-smoking section, but I still smell smoke. I can taste the fucking ash in the air. Anyways, so was this a big thing? Yes. Were they making record profits? Absolutely.
Okay.
But I still think, especially with what we see now, like it wouldn't surprise me if there was some, like Philip Morris maybe did pay this, but it was because of some like law that the government passed. Right. It was like you can't be advertising to children, and part of that is you have to put up some money for ad campaigns that are targeted toward children about how
that
bad
sounds like some
is.
like lawsuit that they had to.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like the tobacco industry. A number of industries have had similar situations, but the tobacco industry has had a bunch of situations like that. You know, going back to in the 50s, the doctors would come on TV and be like, I smoke Lucky Strikes because Lucky Strikes are pure tobacco and it's the safest, healthiest cigarette you can smoke. A doctor, you know, so I don't know. There was many situations where they had to pay restitution to the damage.
Should have listened to that 10th dentist, huh?
I don't get it.
Like 9 out of 10 dentists agree. The 10th one was like, you know what, smoking's probably not great for you.
Smoking's probably terrible. Yeah. Yeah, they ignored him. They ignored him for a while. Anyways, so he emerges, Jake, regardless of that tangent, Jake emerges from, I guess, the parking lot, chain smoking cigarettes, smoking a cigarette indoors, something I've never seen anyone do in this restaurant, and thinking that this restaurant is on the boardwalk.
It's a part of the school. You're definitely not smoking on school grounds.
Yeah. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, why, if this was like an open place that anyone could go to, there'd be people smoking in it. Mm-hmm. But if it's on a school, how did he think walking in here with a lit cigarette was going to go? Surely this isn't the first time anyone has maybe tried to walk in there with a lit cigarette.
I think it's joined from the nurse's office, so maybe that's how.
Yeah, if only he had an oxygen mask. Anyway, so he walks in there, and they're horrified. They're horrified that he smoked a cigarette, that he was smoking a cigarette.
And he asks, he's like, what's the big deal, y'all? And then Sly said that he tried one. Sam said that she tried one back in China. And he's like, see, no big deal. And I think they're just trying to make people, you know, aware that, like, look, people try it. It's not the end of the world, but just know that you shouldn't continue it.
Yeah, but they were just so repulsed by it.
That's what they were they were directed to be repulsed.
It was like such an asymmetric response. Like, maybe be like, oh man, you never smoked cigarettes. Why are you smoking cigarettes? But they're like, we hate you now. Mm-hmm. We hate you because you smell like cigarettes. And to be fair, cigarettes smell terrible.
They're the worst. Would us saying that make this episode a very special episode of Surf Dudes with Attitude?
What?
Like we're genuinely saying cigarettes are gross. Are we now part of the propaganda machine?
No, because I will also say in that same breath, do whatever you want. You want to smoke. I don't necessarily see. There's a possibility in the future we're going to have to smoke cigarettes, like in Total Recall, when there's like a nuclear event. You know.
Yeah.
I see that as something our society being like, yeah, that's a smart idea. So I'm not going to say don't do that, but I also was not given $250,000 from a anti-smoking campaign or Philip Morris. Just saying, Philip Morris, if you want to sponsor our show, we are accepting sponsors.
Honestly, at this point, yes, I would take any endorsement. I don't care how immoral, morally corrupt and
I will
bankrupt it
chain
is.
smoke cigarettes.
Give me a Virginia Slim. I'm down.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, so next we're with back in the garage.
It's really like a cigar club at this point. It is.
they're-
They're both
they're
just huffing and puffing on these butts.
One of the things I didn't understand is like, so his uncle goes outside. They were just like chain smoking in there. They're in this closed garage, and then Lorena walks in, but she doesn't like with how repulsed she is by the smell of cigarettes.
She didn't notice right
How
away
did she
either.
not notice
Yeah.
it? And it would smell fucking horrible. I mean, yes, they're working on an engine, so you'd get some like oil, maybe some gasoline
What
smell.
are they
but
working on? At least there's one other episode where he was like, I need this custom taillight from this very specific year, and then that's okay. He just looks like he's tinkering. He's like
it doesn't
Hoovervilling this
matter.
shit.
Yeah, you know.
But it
he's
does.
trying
It's
to-
like you need 2 people to work on this bike for over a week because we have a week jump ahead of...
Look.
Are you putting NOS in this bike? What is going on?
Well, okay, it's about family, cuh.
Forget about it. I can't forget.
But you gotta think about it like this. Like, they don't say what this fucking show is, but if it's like a race or if it's a showcase.
He's
but
racing
like,
for pinks.
Is he, or is it just like
No,
a
I think it's
a
just
beauty
an
contest?
aesthetic beauty contest.
Okay, well
for
that's
bikes.
a real thing, and when people who take
But he didn't do anything to it. He didn't
they
soup
don't
it up
you
at
don't
all.
have to. You don't have. That's not the point of those things.
He's
the point is
underage.
like,
Is he even allowed to enter?
Who can have the most immaculate? No, seriously. Like, people who enter their shit into car shows, it's not like, can this car beat every other car here? It's how immaculate is this car?
Sure, it just looked like a normal ass bike to me. That okay?
Yeah,
And maybe
well,
that's
but-
the competition.
Right. Maybe the competition is between normal ass bikes, and how you would win that is
That looks
whose
like a
is the
ton
most
of
pristine.
work and money
It is.
for such a
That's
small,
what,
dinky.
You're
trophy.
right. That is true. It's an expensive hobby, and people do it, and they don't even get a trophy. So,
How about this? How about you are an old man? You know, you have the shirt that says, if you can read this, the bitch fell off. You have a sidecar. Like, you have invested your entire life into bikes, and a 17-year-old child beat you.
But
A
Andrew Dice
17-year-old
Clay helped him
new
get
smoker.
it. No, Andrew Dice Clay. He had Andrew Dice Clay. All right, that was his fucking ace in the hole.
Andrew Dice
right?
Sediment is helping
it's
him out.
It's called the fucking
winning.
Ringer, dude. Have you heard about that?
I've heard about it, and I don't think it's fair exactly.
Well, it's not, but people do it. Okay, they do. This is what happens in professional sports.
And like poor Lorena, she's just coming over because she wants to spend time with Jake because he's been
no,
neglecting her.
she wants to get him to quit smoking. She's concerned. That's why she comes
If that was her
over.
main purpose, she would have showed up with her fucking nose like a basset hound and knew exactly what was going on. But instead, she kisses him first and then noticed that he tastes like an ashtray.
Well, because apparently none of these kids have been around any cigarettes
They
ever.
seem very
and
sheltered.
They don't even know what it smells like. So it's to them, it's still a new smell. Even though every single child in the 90s knew what fucking cigarettes smelled like.
Yeah, we were cool. Maybe not our old host Zach because he was homeschooled, but everybody else.
I'm
definitely.
sure in the 90s he smelled a cigarette.
He was
at
a
some
bad
point.
kid in his school class.
Always in detention, yeah. Anyway, so there's like this whole dumb thing, and Lorena gets all mad, and it's foreshadowing for the intervention. Now we're back at Sharky's, and the rest of the gang is deciding, what do we do with the money that we found on the beach?
A week has gone by.
We got to get this returned. We're going to take
they,
some calls.
They put up posters, and it's been a week now. We never get a time jump, and we never get told how long of a time jump it is. So Jake's been working on the bike for a week. The posters have been up for a week, and nobody has claimed their reward.
Until a very convincing old lady walks into
This
Sharky's
fucking
to claim the money,
ownership?
and
Yeah.
I gotta say, this was like straight out of
Compton.
it was straight out of Compton. It was straight out of Compton. Wu-Tang. I'm wearing a Wu-Tang shirt.
You
so
are wearing a Wu-Tang shirt. Famously not from Compton.
This was like bit comedy. This felt like Benny Hill. Okay, And then Sly comes in. He had a couple good lines. They pop his fake boob balloons.
You were trying to do a portmanteau there. I heard you.
And his shriek was hilarious.
Did that catch you? Did anybody in the gang believe that it was Sly?
No.
At first?
No.
I think Mark would have.
No.
He's dumb.
Mark knows better than anyone.
I have no notes for this. It just says,
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. It was pretty stupid. This whole plot was pretty stupid, but they really tie it together back at the end. Anyways, so then Jake once more emerges from the fucking entrance that no one has ever used the entire show, and
Debatable.
he's like, okay, doesn't this lead to the intervention, right? He doesn't say he's quit.
He said he's going to quit once the bike show starts.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in 2 days. So, and it's 2 days away. He said, I'll quit after that, because he had told Lorena he's going to quit. She's upset. But, yeah, now everyone's really worried because, now it seems like he might not. Because she's like, give me your cigarettes. And he's like, I don't have to prove anything to you. So
yeah, he's really hooked.
Early forms of addiction.
He's really hooked. He's been smoking for 1 week, and he's already in too deep.
He's already buying cartons. So I would say that there's some reason for alarm here.
In another month, he's going to be doing heroin. That's just how this stuff works.
Huff and glue
it's
right
science.
now. Freebasing is next.
So in the first moment where I thought maybe we potentially get some band shit, we don't.
We're in the loft.
And, a sad spoiler, we won't for a while still. So if that's what you were waiting for, just fucking forget about it.
But we do get it this episode, so don't worry.
It does happen. It does happen. It's just not until way later.
Yeah.
So they're...
Towards the filter of this episode, if you will. Sorry.
Wow. Thanks for that. So they're at the practice space, and they're all debating about how they're going to violently confront Jake about his smoking and basically just say... If you're smoking cigarettes, we don't want to hang out with you.
Tough love, baby.
That's what every cool kid said in the 90s. If you're smoking cigarettes, we don't want to hang out with you.
It was a us or them mentality when a friend started smoking. I will agree with that sentiment. I love the idea of Sam being really mean in this situation and wearing.
She's pretty savage.
The cutest green sweater I've ever seen her wear. It is adorable.
She's pretty violent though. She's like no mercy, spearheading the gang. She's like, we gotta.
They're having a rehearsal. He is showing up for rehearsal, and they have staged this intervention. The first of 2 interventions in this episode. Jake is just walking around with a fully loaded ashtray at this point. He's smoking so much that there's just not enough receptacles in the world that's going to handle it.
I think it is funny too because I don't know if this is a law in California, but they are very particular about how close you can smoke by doors and the cigarette butts.
I don't know if domicile.
I don't know if that's a joke. I don't know if that's but you got to think he's walking around town.
We still don't know if anybody lives in this loft because there are definitely beds there, and we know that Sam, who used to live with the Garrisons, is living with Lorena. I don't know if she lives in the actual loft. So it would definitely be up to her whether
I think they said that she lives in the shack.
She's a little conch shack there.
Yeah, she
lives around a moat.
Got a sequestered shack, outhouse, no running water. But she is there. She is there for free. Anyway, so he comes in there, everyone leaves, right? So then we cut to the high school, and we once again return to the really stupid side plot. Mark has been tasked with keeping the money that they found on the beach safe from Sly.
Why?
And he's keeping it in his unlocked school locker. And Sly has been trying to figure out a weaselly, rodent-like way to take that money and put it into something. What was the thing they come up with? It was T-shirts.
Oh, you don't remember? There's a Counting Toes concert coming up.
Yeah. So what was the name of the record?
10 Little Piggies or something. Is that right?
That was good. Yeah, I like
something like that.
That was super
so
dumb.
Counting Toes, obviously around counting crows, and Sly doesn't have a bad idea here. He's like, let's make a quick T-shirt, buy them for $5, sell them for $10. This is not a bad entrepreneurial idea, but Sly has to come up with a design for it, and I'm like upset with Sly at the end of this episode when you see what he's come up with. Like, it's so obviously not something that would sell, and I get that that's the joke, but I was hoping they would have fucked it up in a more creative way. So Mark says, yes, here, take the $500. So what are we saying here? For $5 a shirt, they're going to buy 2,500 shirts. Is that correct? Is my math on at this point?
2,500?
Is that correct? If they're $5 a shirt, right?
It'd be 500 divided by 5.
500 divided by 5. Yeah.
2,500? That'd be 2,500.
That's what I said. I think that's right, isn't it?
500 divided by 5 is 100. So it'd be 100 shirts.
Oh my God. Wait.
500 divided by 5 is 100.
5. No, wait.
Yeah. 500 divided by 5.
Okay, yes, you're right.
Is 100. Yeah. That'd be 100 shirts.
Yes.
At $5 a
I should have
shirt.
stayed in school as opposed to this musician.
2,500 would be like 5 cents a shirt or something.
You're playing Barclays or something at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so they're going to get 500 T-shirts is what you're saying. And they're going to turn around and sell them for...
They're going to get 100 T-shirts.
I don't know why this is so hard for me.
They're going to pay $5 for 100
So they're
T-shirts.
basically just trying to
That
make
will be-
$1,000 is what you're telling me.
I have no idea what they're trying to make. I
Well,
think
they're getting 100
honestly,
T-shirts and they're selling them for $10 each.
that would be a profit. That would be $1,000 that they'd be doubling their money, right? Okay, but I honestly don't think Sly at any moment wants to make a profit. He just wants the money.
Interesting.
He's so
Would he
focused
be
on
happy
getting the money.
breaking even? Do you think?
I think he's happy losing money. He just wanted to get the money.
Interesting. Okay.
I think he was trying to rodentially figure out a way to steal that money, so that he could just have that money.
Okay.
Anyway, so the rest of the gang they figure this out, and basically Sly and Mark have to make this pact with each other, this demonic pact separately, because the crew will
They'll be
shred
upset.
Mark.
Sure.
They're not going to be surprised
For
by
good reason.
Sly.
Sly
but yeah.
fucks everything up.
Yeah. Well, and Mark was supposed to be the stopgap, but here he is. So the gang rushes in. They're all fired up because they're like, yeah, we're going to take this boycott of Jake to the next fucking level, okay?
Sure.
And then Jake comes in, and he's like, is this the point where he's like pretending like he quit or like he's good? And then he has his little breakdown.
Yes. He has pretended he quit, but he's really just using breath mints and cologne to mask the stench of lying, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lorena kisses him. She tongues him and gets a taste of the back throat. And
kiss heavy, deep French kissing in front of Tiffany.
Yeah.
With the audience whooping it up.
Yeah. Tiffany's brimming with rage.
For sure.
Without a doubt. Anyway, so now we get to the absolute most meta, dumbest, dare bullshit I have witnessed since being in school in the 90s. We're literally in a classroom watching a PSA from the American Cancer Society.
Yes. So they somehow found an empty classroom. I don't know if this is after school. And they're like, Jake, you're not listening to us. Maybe you'll listen to this. And I thought that they would have. I didn't remember this episode, but I really thought that they were going to come up with something like they put something together and filmed it and stuff. No, it's literally this very grainy footage from the early 80s, it looks like, of a healthy and tarred up lung.
There's something really weird about watching on YouTube at 2x2 pixels people watching a TV screen from the 90s.
That's why it's meta. I understand what you're saying.
It's just and like you can barely make out any of the detail on the screen, even when they're showing it.
But you know what I did make out? when Mark shuts the lights off. It is the most earnest thing. I don't know if you want to pull it up.
Yeah,
I
I've
love
got
the
it.
idea because
that as you said,
Mark's
that
only
happened
contribution
on
to
the
this
screen.
episode, other than losing the band money,
was this very sensual.
He was just very sensual.
Here,
He
is. It's coming up.
He has one job. Oh, he does the dimmer. He makes it dramatic.
Oh my
God. He's somehow more of like a square than Matt was.
That is so dumb.
This is his job. They're like, guys, just let me know when I have to turn off the lights. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna fuck this up, guys. Jake's really gonna hear what they have to say. This dare video. Please do not smoke.
Yeah,
and
so
Jake is like, it's upsetting.
The first thing he thinks after he watches it is, "I need a cigarette," and he storms out. Mm-hmm. So now here we'll get.
Do you think Mark slowly turned the lights back up once Jake
100%.
left the room? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, just hoping for another chance at glory. But okay, so now they're back at the rehearsal space, and they're like, all right, enough of this easy method stuff. We're going to go the hard way. We're going to force you to sit down in this chair, and you're going to have to not smoke, and we're going to sit here and help you through it. So here's where I think it gets to be Marlboro.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, maybe you can do some dissection, because I tried to dissect something of what pictures were in Mark's locker, because when he like shut it stayed open, and it definitely looks like this wasn't locked at all. And I was like, is that a picture of the "I Have a Dream" speech? Because that's what it looked like. I couldn't tell. It was so pixelated. Potato quality.
How could you make that out?
I don't know. I'm asking what it was, but whatever.
Okay, so
oh my God.
It is.
Okay, that is not Marlboro.
It's not.
It's probably
Marlboro.
a fake brand. But look how cool Mark looks in the background.
It's definitely a fake brand, and there were plenty of like C-grade cigarette companies.
Does that fire hose have a tutu on in the background? That is what it looks like. Sorry.
Yeah, it sure does. Or like it's a cat toy or something. Who knows? Anyways, so he pulls out a Lucy from his ear, 2 packs of cigarettes, and then a whole carton. Or 1 pack and a whole carton. And it's the cheapest cigarettes. So that's how you know he's got a real problem. He's not even trying to buy a Marlboro. He's
such an addict that he'll take some bottom store Lucky Strikes or something. Or what is the Native American one? What is that one called?
That is American Spirits, and those are probably no, they're not. They're actually, because they're not with as many chemicals, they're like a little more expensive on average.
I pictured him a Pall Mall man myself.
Yeah,
what do I know?
Not getting above Pall Mall for sure. Like that's the bottom, and there are definitely B brands below that. That's what he's smoking on, which is, I mean, that's honestly the saddest part. Anyway, so they go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. So we see a montage of Jake going cold turkey. At any point, did you think we were going to see a dead baby crawling on the ceiling towards him, James?
Honestly, I there were like some train spotting elements where I was like, damn, this guy's going through withdrawals, you know?
Yeah. Because they said in that video, that very short video that was maybe 30 seconds long, like it's harder to quit than like crack or heroin. So Jake is really going through it right now.
Yeah, he's spazzing on everybody, and the weird part is it's only been 7 minutes. This entire thing is 7 minutes. So anyway, then they tell him to try gum, and before you know it, he's chewing in a terrible pantomime. He makes it look like he's chewing a huge mouthful of gum.
Yes.
And he's not. And they ask him like, "How do you feel now?" And he's like, "I want a cigarette." And there's this whole dumb thing where they joke about he couldn't understand him because his mouth is full of gum, but it's dumb. And they unfortunately, they didn't have the knowledge of shows like Intervention, where that show hadn't come out yet, so they wouldn't have known. You can't force somebody to quit something; they have to want to quit it.
Yes,
you can't force somebody into it. And ultimately, after all of this trying, he, God damn it, the next one. He grabs the cigarettes and he runs away, and he's all pissed off.
Uh-huh.
So then another like unknown amount of time passes, and we open to.
It's got to be a day, because they said the motorcycle is in 2 days. It sounds like you don't care about this timeline as much as I'm trying to make it make sense for you.
They don't care about the timeline, okay? How are you going to expect me to care when they didn't care? Okay?
I don't have an answer for that. I just know that it's one of the few times that I was actually like, okay, this is probably the next day where he goes to this T-ball event where everybody gets a turn at bat and everybody gets a participation trophy. There's no way his bike is better than like other bikes
anyone's. There. Yeah, anyone's.
It has to be some category of like best 17-year-old bike that you worked on with your unkie. Okay, that has to be it.
Well, in any case, as soon as this scene came up, I knew what they were doing here.
You didn't know from the jump that we were going to have somebody getting diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer that dead by supper time.
Yeah, okay. yeah. I figured it was coming, and as soon as this scene came up, I was like, here it is. Here it is.
Here it is.
So Jake tries to share his excitement with his uncle, but his uncle is just not super excited. And it turns out that morning, his uncle woke up and was coughing up some blood. So he went to the doctor, and within 2 hours, they basically had diagnosed an intense cancer that he was going to die from, like immediately. And honestly, depending on how much time passes between this scene and the next scene, he might already be dead. Maybe they already went to his funeral.
In this interstellar timeline of California Dreams, he's definitely dead. It's progressed enough that it's metastasized over most of his body right now.
Yeah, he's basically 95% tumor. Yeah, it's honestly amazing that he even still has a personality.
This Uncle Frank makes it all about him. Can't let Jake have any kind of congratulation or any kind of celebration for this whatever trophy, this very small trophy for all the work.
It's a great trophy. Okay, everyone got one.
It doesn't even have a picture of a motorcycle on it.
You bring up a good point though, because it doesn't, and it's like it's like a person kicking a soccer ball. It's like has nothing to do with it. But you mentioned something before when his uncle came in and did the thing and was like expecting some kind of canned response from the audience. There wasn't. Yes. Did you notice that when he said, "I've got cancer, Jake," and they hug him, nothing. There isn't a sound.
No. People but before that.
Finally.
Okay, I want you. I know this is audio, but like, go to that scene when Jake brings up the trophy. There's this single woo from the audience. I listened to it twice, so it's there. I want to see if you can hear it. And then it's like the only person in the audience that didn't know what was coming was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, you got the trophy. I don't see any bad parts of smoking. I see nothing that is going to go awry.
All right, hang on. Let me... No way.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, come on, dude, this is the cancer scene. What are you doing? You can't say woo.
I thought it was the trophy scene. I'm sorry. So, you're right. He didn't get any of the canned laughter that he thought he would with the bada bada bang or whatever it is. But yeah, the one guy was like, ooh, should have saved my woo for the cancer bit.
Yeah,
oh, but you're talking about this line. I don't mean to interrupt, but you're talking about this line where he's like, I went to the doctor, and the stethoscope, they still keep it so cold. Hey, like, there's no punchline there. It's just a fact. It's just the fact.
He's trying to break the ice, okay? He's Andrew Dice Clay, all right? He doesn't need to prove to you that he's funny, okay? Anyway, so his uncle's like, I'm dying, and then walks out, like immediately leaves. And Jake's pissed, so the first thing he does is goes to spark up a ciggy. Yeah. And then he has like one of the most hilarious emotional fits.
It's good. He kicks this thing.
Yeah, we really should show it. I'm just going to show it.
I think you should show it because I definitely want to show it later, but it reminds me, there's a scene in the Whiskey in the Jar video from Metallica where Lars kicks something and
he's shaking. He's shaking. He's got the shakes.
Okay, I think it would have. I think it would have been cooler if he had thrown the trophy because it meant so much to him.
Yeah,
That's what as not an actor, that's what I would have done. But you think they only had one trophy? They're like, dude, you can't fuck it up if we have to do another take, okay?
And honestly, that scene has the heaviest emotional sting I've ever heard on this show. But
that's probably the hardest Jake goes in this entire series.
Yeah, I was going to say this may be the heaviest scene from
I laughed,
the show so far.
But that was
it was
that
hilarious.
was not the point.
It was hilarious. Anyways, so we're back at the rehearsal space.
Yep.
Mark's in there whistling, being weird, and Sly comes in with a box of shirts. And they pull out the shirts.
2,500 shirts.
And let me see if I can get to what it says. Yes, 2,500. 2,500. He had 2,500 of these shirts made with just a mere $500. The greatest deal in print history.
Okay, so what?
And
okay,
this is what it says: Counting Toes, love Sly, and it's a picture of Sly's face.
I mean, would I wear that shirt now? Yes. Nobody would get it. I would pay $10 for that. I would help the band out, especially if they're putting it towards cancer research at Sharky's.
Yeah, only in that scenario though. So then Mark and Sly have this little thing because Mark's like, they're gonna kill me. The gang's gonna kill me, and Sly's like, well, you should have known better. And then the
that
gang
was very
starts,
self-aware. He's like, they expect it from me, but
it was pretty accurate. Yeah,
you should have known better, dude.
And then the gang shows up, and Mark's like, well, don't tell them. And then Sly immediately tells them. And
but I was thinking here, do you think Mark is like, fuck yeah, Frank got cancer, now I'm off the hook? Because that is not what we're talking about anymore,
yeah,
right?
Now that you mention that, yeah, kinda. Because the mood shifts when Jake walks in and Mark's not mad about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jake comes in and says his uncle has cancer, and everyone's crying, and Sly has the brilliant idea to make up for all of his misdeeds, the misappropriation of funds, and serve a good cause. And the next scene we see is yet another benefit. Apparently in Los Angeles, Sharky's is the premier event space for fundraising events. Even black tie galas. Like, this place really has it all. It has seating for 60. They serve burgers and pizza. I mean, what else do you need?
So you're good at math. So while they're at Sharky's, they're like, we have made way over what we would have made on the beach, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So how many? We've done this before, where we have counted only about 24 people tops that can actually fit at Sharky's.
Yeah.
How much are they paying to make $500, kind of thing? So.
Well, if there's 60 people.
Okay. They said 60, or are you just guessing?
I'm
60?
just guessing.
No.
There probably isn't that many. Yeah. So if there's 30 people, they'd have to be paying
$20 each.
At least $20 a piece for them to get over $500. Now,
Okay.
how much over $500 we don't know, and of course, 90s $500 was like $1 million.
Maybe there's some kind of hunky
so.
male auction or something that they're also throwing in there, because that was a big
they're
staple.
actually auctioning off a date with Jake's uncle.
He doesn't have long to live.
Well, it's the perfect scenario, you know. He's Andrew Dice Clay. So another funny moment here. We're finally getting to some fucking music. The last
I
little
couldn't
bit,
believe it.
and we
I did not
got
think we were getting it.
we got a good long song. Me
We
too.
did.
I did not
We did.
think this was coming, and we ended up getting a good long song.
I like that cancer
and
research just needs $500 extra, and they're
Really?
close to getting it.
Yeah. If only they knew in 1990 how close we were to solving cancer. Anyways, one of the funniest moments in this whole episode is they're on the stage talking before they start to play, and Jake's like, I told my uncle we're donating the money to cancer, and he said,
Cough.
he gives him like a thumbs up. His uncle doesn't care. His uncle's like, kid, I'm dying.
Why isn't his uncle there?
I'm dying.
He's already on dialysis?
His uncle's
Okay.
already in hospice. Yeah, for sure. Toast, dude, toast. And then they play this really stupid song. Jake does a terrible
called
job
Tough Love.
pantomiming. Yeah, and it's long. It's like one of the longest songs
And we don't
I've
get
seen
full
on
verse
this
chorus
show.
verse chorus, but we get verse chorus bridge solo.
It's long enough.
Outro.
Yeah,
it's long for a
enough.
California Dreams song for sure.
Yeah.
Jake, his chord change is not on beat. Tiffany is all over the fucking place. But let's talk about this solo. Started off okay, and then it just fell off the fucking rails.
Did it? Yeah, I don't think it did. I figured it was already doomed before the first note was played.
Cigarette smelly hands cannot stay on the right fret. They're slipping and sliding everywhere.
His fingers are too damaged. They got too many cigarette
Cancer is
burns
eating
on
them to the bone.
Yeah.
And he's
toast.
fallen off. It's one. So the one solo, he maybe had a basic idea. The end, his outro, where he's just noodling and shit, and there's no noodly stuff going on. Out of control, Jake. Out of control.
Or is it right on brand?
Did they write this song this week? They took what happened, and they threw this show together. Sharky's happened to be open. How much time has passed? We do not know. But they wrote a song. They did one of their. So it's the only song in the set.
Yeah.
People paid.
They just needed to play
people
one
paid
song.
At least $30 to hear one song, and they had to get a burger and protein shake at Sharky's. This after-hours school thing.
This is kind of a tangent, but I think it's somewhat relevant. I was in a
whole
CVS.
show is a tangent.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, I'm trying to tie it into a show that I actually enjoyed. I, for the first time in my life, heard "How Do You Talk to an Angel" in a CVS.
Fuck. No. Still?
Yes.
Today.
Yeah, today.
2025.
Not today, but it was a week ago.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I was amazed. It was the first time I had ever heard that song.
How does that feel, knowing that we talked to the person that
it was kind of
sang
fun.
and
I started humming it.
Co-wrote that song.
I started humming it. I was like, oh, there we go. Here's my guy right here.
I don't know when that episode came out. If it did, if anybody's listening, we're talking about the Zachary Throne interview that we did. The voice of Mark in California Dreams, as well as a super accomplished, great musician and really fun guest. So look out for that if it's not already out.
Yeah, but we've reached the end of this episode, and I think we've learned a valuable lesson, and it's that if you want to be cool, you need to smoke cigarettes.
Well, I think we also learned something else, that during the time it took for you to listen to this episode, 24 people died from cancer from smoking. That's what the end of this episode says. Did you see that, or did you turn it off immediately?
I did not. I turned it off immediately. Where does it say that? Where the fuck does it say that?
Look at the end. I think 24 people died right during Jake's solo. They were holding on for dear life, and then just were like, fuck it, I don't want to be here
What page are you watching this from? Because I'm not
YouTube.
seeing that.
It's the only place that it's available. Anybody following along
From
can watch
Elaine,
it on YouTube.
Elaine H. Del Pilar.
That's blessed Elaine. Thank you.
I don't see it on here. Where
Bullshit, it's there.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. It's before
Can
the
you
credits.
read us what it says?
Yeah. Just so people can see this too.
Yeah.
According to the American Cancer Society, in the time that it took you to watch this episode, 24 people in the U.S. died from smoking.
That's just the U.S., baby. Do you think Uncle Frank was all 24?
USA! USA!
That's, on average, that's one per minute. So...
I think that's what they're getting at there.
Tough love, baby. 3 people died during the end credits. And that last song.
Super depressing. The song was terrible, too, yeah.
I want to say that the guy who played Uncle Frank, his name is Eddie Mecca, lived a long and prosperous life as a really fun character actor. He was, but his biggest show, I think, was probably Laverne and Shirley. That's primarily what he's known from.
Sick.
He looks like a cross between Andrew Dice Clay and like Kevin Pollak if they had a child.
Yeah, sure.
He looks like one of the 35-year-old teenagers in Greece. He died a couple years ago, but like he was on.
It was
It's Always
lung cancer,
Sunny.
wasn't it?
It's great.
Cancer got him.
I don't know what it says. It doesn't say, but he died at 69, so it probably could have been lung cancer, but we don't know. Rest in peace. Thanks for playing Uncle Frank so well. Let's give out some awards for this very special episode of California Dreams and Surf Dudes with Attitude. We did not see much from the band, and the music was kind of shoehorned in at the end, but it still counts, so we still have to do this. Who is getting the Tony Award? I think it's quite obvious, but what do you think, James? Who mimed the best music in this episode?
I don't know. I mean, Sam and Tiffany definitely had like their whole like duet thing.
I didn't
that
mind
was like
that.
a nice little cutaway. I thought that was tasteful.
Yeah.
Tony always solid. I give this award to Tony a lot, so let's give it to Sam and Tiffany.
So you're gonna give okay, because I almost want to say the Emerson, Lake and Palmer triple keyboard action was pretty good, but I do like the female duet singing into the mic.
They did that well. That was nice. It took
like,
away from how bad Jake's.
Yeah, so we're gonna give the Jenny Award to Jake. I think I can speak for maybe both of us here.
100%.
It's odd, and I brought this up before, but ever since I complimented J. Anthony Frankie on actually doing this, it's like the universe has been like, guess what, motherfucker? Like, you're wrong. Like, you have misremembered this. Every single episode, he is just dialing. He's phoning it. He's texting in this fucking solo. It's not good. And I need him. He's betrayed me as a young child. So and who would you want to be in a band with? And we have a couple options here. Could be anybody in the episode. Who's the Tiffy going to?
I mean, fucking Jake's uncle. He seems fucking super sick, dude. He works on motorcycles. He wears leather jackets. He smokes cigarettes. Like, what? That's super cool.
I thought you were saying like this was going to be like a Make-A-Wish thing for Uncle Frank. Like before he dies from smoking, he wants to be in a high school band.
Why not?
Okay,
why not?
I would
let
say,
the man have something. Okay, Jesus.
I would say Sly. Just because I like the idea of somebody taking charge of band merch, because it's an annoying aspect of being in a band. And even though it didn't turn out well, he was proactive enough to find the distributor to come up with the idea to put. Well, he didn't put the money up front himself, but he acquired funds.
Money.
And he made the design. I mean, it was a quick turnaround for those T-shirts as well. So, I wonder what that I wonder who opened up for the Counting Toes. You know.
Probably Hurl Jam.
There it is.
Yeah.
Toe Jam and Earl Jam. Okay. So, James, would you like to see what the next episode is going to be about?
Yeah, let's give me the title.
Yeah. Okay. So, the next episode 13 of season 3. We're really getting there. We're almost done with season 3. Wow. It's called Rebel Without a Nerve.
Rebel Without a Nerve?
Yeah, it's obviously about a paraplegic.
That's what I would think is, something without a... Or what is somebody that...
My God.
Has lost their nerve? Tiffany. She finally explodes. That's it.
If anybody's new to listening, James has been
It's not a theory. It's not a theory. It's backed up with science.
He's been omening this thing happening.
She's repressing a lot of rage.
He's been that Tiffany has been repressing a lot of rage since episode 8 of season 1.
Since her childhood, it's
for sure.
Beyond the show.
He's waiting for it to boil over at some point. I'm gonna not give you credit for that one. That is not what this is about.
God damn it.
The next episode, called Rebel Without a Nerve, is about a new kid threatens to usurp Jake's position as Pacific Coast High's resident tough guy. Jake responds by doing the unthinkable, joining the school's safety patrol. Now, you weren't privy to this, but in the beginning of this podcast, I had a prophetic story that I remember as a kid, that there was an episode about the school safety patrol, and we were going to get there in a couple years. Because I specifically remember a scene that I don't know if it's going to hold up or be completely accurate, but there's a scene supposedly in my brain that says they've gone 1,000 days without an incident, and then everybody's trying not to have any accidents because they want to get to 1,000 days. And even as a kid, I was like, wait a minute, that's almost 3 years. I'm not great at math.
Well, we're gonna have to check the math on that, yeah, for sure. But you're kind of right. I also don't necessarily think that's a prophetic I think you just normally remembered that.
Sure, but I'm saying I was seeing myself in the future, which is now watching that episode and then having to either be corrected or be affirmed that this is how I remember it. So I'm very excited for next week because I specifically remember this episode, and I want to see if it holds up as being truthful or fallacious.
Right, so you remember this episode, and you want to make sure that you're remembering this episode
I'm
correctly.
putting everybody else
is that what I'm
who's
taking
watching
away
this
from
show
this?
along with us through this with me just to do this. Instead of just watching that episode on YouTube years ago and not putting anybody through this podcast, I'm sorry, this is the way I chose to go about it.
It's one of the biggest reasons you started the show, yeah.
It was, and we're literally getting to it. So I don't know if there's any music to talk about next week, but we're going to find out. Here on Surf Dudes with Attitude, thank you so much for listening. That's going to do it for us here. Give us a shout at surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com or tag us if you guys want us to do any kind of special side projects. That's where we will go into a different show or movie that has to do with a band, and we're going to talk about it. So we got a couple coming up. We got a step-by-step episode coming up. We may have another Full House episode coming up, so we got some fun, stupid shit to talk about. Please give us a like and subscribe on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Write a review for us anywhere. You can tag us on a side of a building or something if you're into graffiti. That's fine, too. We literally don't care. It would be really nice.
Yeah, and remember, this show has been brought to you by Philip Morris. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you, everybody. Smoke cigarettes.
Don't smoke.
Chain smoke cigarettes.
Don't listen to the chain smokers. Thank you for listening to Surf Dudes with Attitude. Not even once. This is Pete from New York City. So thank you for listening. Thank you for smoking.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for smoking.
This has been a Waning Moon production.